Ladies and gentlemen, escorting the President-elect, the Staff Director for the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Elizabeth Farah, House Sergeant-at-Arms, the Honorable William P. McFarland, Senate Sergeant-at-Arms and Doorkeeper, the Honorable Jennifer A. Hemingway, Senate Majority Leader, the Honorable John Thune, and the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, House Democratic Leader, the Honorable Hakeem Jeffries, House Majority Leader, the Honorable Steve Scalise, Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Mike Johnson, Senate Democratic Leader, the Honorable Charles E. Schumer, Ranking Member of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the Honorable Deb Fischer, and Chairwoman of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the Honorable Amy Klobuchar. Ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect of the United States, the Honorable Donald John Trump.
And here you have it, the return of Donald Trump to Washington. As president, he said 8 years ago he would be back in some form, trying to get in underneath that hat that you spoke of, Mary Jordan, to give the First Lady a peck on the cheek.
Memes about that, yes.
A word there with Joe Biden. Kind words, embracing his handshake for his Vice President, J.D. Vance.
It's Melania's father.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
We have said all along the way, an historic comeback. Unlike anything we've seen in modern times, a political comeback of this nature. The American people witnessed the assassination attempts, what we saw play out in Butler, Pennsylvania. And we saw a former president who campaigned on the promise that he would do something about the economic pressures being felt by American families, rising prices, and something about
Please welcome
immigration
the
at the southern
Joint
border.
Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the Honorable Amy Klobuchar.
From both parties this year, and especially the last 3 days. You've done a beautiful job, and you have shown grace under pressure. Our theme this year is our enduring democracy. The presence of so many presidents and vice presidents here today is truly a testament to that endurance. We welcome President Biden and Dr. Biden. We welcome Vice President Harris and Doug Emhoff, President Obama, President Clinton and Secretary Clinton, President Bush and Laura Bush, Vice President Pence, Vice President Quayle and Marilyn Quayle. The justices of the United States Supreme Court are with us, all 9 of them, I counted, and of course, the Trump and Vance families. This ceremony marks what will soon be 250 years of our democracy. It is the moment when leaders elevated by the will of the people promise to be faithful to our Constitution, to cherish and defend it. It is the moment when they become, as we all should be, the guardians of our country. Through war and peace, through adversity and prosperity, we hold this inauguration every 4 years, and today it falls on Martin Luther King Day, a further reminder that we must strive to uphold the values enshrined in our Constitution, the freedoms, the liberties, and, as is inscribed on the entrance of the United States Supreme Court, equal justice under law. But what makes this moment more than a passing ceremony is all who are watching it across the country, the people of this nation, the ordinary people doing extraordinary things. President Kennedy, who at one point worked as a senator in this building and would often walk through this very rotunda, once said, "In a democracy, every citizen, regardless of interest in politics, holds office. Every one of us is in a position of responsibility." With that responsibility of citizenship comes an obligation not to seek out malice, as President Lincoln once reminded us, but to view others with a generosity of spirit despite our differences. With that responsibility of leadership comes an obligation to stand our ground as we inaugurate a new president and vice president. Let us remember that the power of those in this room comes from the people. The construction workers who build our country, the teachers and healthcare workers on the line for us. Our democracy's strength and grit must match theirs. May God bless our nation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. To persevere through time is the truest measure of an idea, an institution, and a nation. Our founders wrote the Constitution.
Oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
You see the two Bibles there. Trump's personal Bible was presented to him by his mother, who graduated from Sunday school at First Presbyterian Church in New York back in 1955. The second was used for the inauguration of President Abraham Lincoln. He used that Bible as well 8 years ago. President and First Lady now leaving. President Donald Trump, 47th President of the United States, First Lady.
And also what he said in the very beginning and end of his speech, the golden age of America begins right now. We spoke earlier, David, about the amount of wealth that's inside.
Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful